Fire, stop scrolling right now because what you are about to hear changed everything fans thought they knew about Jungkook, and if you think this is just another rumor, you are not ready for what comes next. Stay till the end, because the truth will leave you speechless, and you will never see him the same way again. The internet did not just react, it exploded overnight. Timelines were flooded, group chats went silent, then suddenly chaotic, and millions of fans found themselves asking the same question: what is really going on with Jungkook, and why is everyone talking about this now? It started quietly, like most viral storms do. A short clip resurfaced. Nothing new, nothing officially confirmed, yet something about it felt different. The way he smiled, the way he spoke, the subtle confidence in his presence. Fans began to rewind, replay, analyze every second like detectives chasing a hidden message, and before anyone could slow it down, the conversation had already taken over the world. Then came the theories. Fans began connecting moments from interviews, old live streams, behind-the-scenes clips, and even stage performances. Everything suddenly felt like it meant more. Every glance, every laugh, every interaction was now under a spotlight, and the deeper people looked, the more questions they found. But here is where things got intense. The energy shifted from curiosity to emotion. Some fans defended him passionately, saying it does not matter what anyone believes because Jungkook has always been about authenticity, about being real, about expressing himself freely. Others leaned into the mystery, asking if there was something he had been trying to say all along, something subtle, something personal, something hidden in plain sight. And then came the moment that truly broke the internet. A compilation video dropped. It was cinematic, emotional, powerful scenes of Jungkook through the years, his growth, his confidence, his evolution as an artist and as a person. The music hit differently, the visuals told a story that words could not fully explain, and suddenly millions of people were not just watching, they were feeling something deeper. The comment sections became a storm of emotions. Some were shocked, some were supportive, some were confused, but one thing was clear: nobody could ignore it anymore. Jungkook was trending everywhere, and the conversation had reached a level that could not be undone. But here is the truth that most people are missing. This was never just about a rumor. It was about identity, expression, and the way the world reacts when someone refuses to fit into a box. Jungkook has always been known for pushing boundaries, whether it is through music style or performance. He has built a career on being unpredictable, on being free, on being unapologetically himself. And that is exactly why this moment feels so powerful. Because fans are not just reacting to a headline, they are reacting to the idea that someone they admire might be living their truth in a world that constantly demands labels. Now imagine this scene. A quiet room, dim lights, Jungkook sitting alone, reflecting on his journey, the pressure, the expectations, the millions of eyes watching every move, and yet still choosing to step on stage with confidence, still choosing to express himself through art, through emotion, through music. That is what people are really seeing. Not just a rumor, but a human being navigating fame, identity, and self-expression in front of the entire world. And then the stage lights come on. The crowd roars louder than ever, his presence fills the space, and in that moment none of the noise matters, no labels, no assumptions, no debates, just music, energy, and connection. That is the real story. Fans are beginning to realize that what makes Jungkook so captivating is not just his talent, but his ability to remain real in a world that constantly tries to define him. And here is where things take another turn. Support has been pouring in from fans across the globe, messages of love, acceptance, and admiration, proving that no matter what the truth is, Jungkook is supported not for fitting expectations, but for being himself. This moment has sparked conversations far beyond one person. It has opened discussions about freedom, about identity, about the courage it takes to live authentically, especially under the pressure of global fame. And now everyone is watching, waiting for what comes next. Will Jungkook address it directly? Will he remain silent? Will he let his art speak for him? Because one thing is certain. Every move he makes from this point forward will be watched, analyzed, and felt on a deeper level than ever before. So, what does this mean for fans? It means this is more than entertainment. This is a moment that challenges perceptions, that invites people to think differently, that reminds everyone that behind the fame is a real person with real emotions, real choices, and a real story. And maybe, just maybe, that is the reason this went so viral. Not because of a rumor, but because it touched something real. So before you leave, ask yourself this. Are you here for the gossip, or are you here for the truth? Because the truth is not always loud, sometimes it is quiet, sometimes it is felt rather than explained, and sometimes it is something only the person living it can truly define. Fire, if you made it this far, you are part of the real ones. Drop your thoughts in the comments, share this with every true fan, and subscribe to K Drama Bliss for more stories that hit different, because this is just the beginning, and the next reveal might be even bigger. Wait. Before you think you've seen it all, Part 2 changes everything, because what happened after the internet exploded around Jungkook is even more intense, more emotional, and honestly, no one was ready for it. Stay with me, because this is where the story gets real. The noise did not die down. It got louder. What started as whispers turned into a full global conversation, and suddenly, it was not just fans anymore, it was media pages, influencers, reaction channels, everyone had something to say, and every new post added fuel to the fire. But then something unexpected happened. Jungkook did not respond. No statement, no denial, no confirmation, just silence. And somehow that silence spoke louder than anything else could have. Fans began reading into everything again. But this time it felt different, not chaotic, but emotional, like people were no longer searching for answers, but trying to understand him on a deeper level. Then came another moment that shifted everything. A live appearance. The lighting was soft, the atmosphere calm, and Jungkook looked different, not physically, but emotionally. There was a calm confidence in his eyes, the kind that does not come from proving anything to anyone, but from knowing who you are. He smiled. And that smile, it hit different. Not forced, not staged, just real. Fans watching across the world felt it instantly. Comments started pouring and saying, he looks at peace, he looks free, he looks like himself. And suddenly the entire narrative started changing. Because maybe this was never about explaining anything. Maybe this was about showing. And in that moment, Jungkook showed something more powerful than words ever could. Authenticity. Now, picture this. Backstage before a performance, the energy is electric, the team moving quickly, the countdown echoing in the background, and Jungkook standing still for just a second, eyes closed, taking it all in, not the noise, not the rumors, just the moment. Then he steps forward. Lights explode across the stage, the music hits, and the crowd goes wild, but this time something feels different. There is a boldness in his performance, of freedom in his movement, like he is not holding anything back anymore. Fans noticed it instantly. The way he carried himself, the way he connected with the audience, the way he owned every second, it felt like a new chapter unfolding right in front of millions of eyes. And the internet reacted again. But this time it was not confusion. It was admiration. Support messages flooded timelines, people saying, we do not need labels, we do not need explanations, we just need him to be happy, to be real, to be himself. And that right there, that is when everything changed. Because the focus shifted from speculation to respect, from rumors to reality, from questions to acceptance. But here is the part nobody is talking about. This moment is bigger than Jungkook. It is about every person who has ever felt the pressure to fit into expectations, to hide parts of themselves, to be what the world wants instead of who they truly are. And seeing someone like Jungkook stand in his power without saying a single word, that hits differently. It inspires. It challenges. It makes people reflect. And maybe that is why this story refuses to fade. Because it is not just a trending topic. It is a moment, a shift, a reminder that sometimes the strongest statement is simply living your truth without fear. Now, the question is, what happens next? Will Jungkook ever address it directly? Or will he continue to let his actions speak louder than any headline ever could? Because if this is just the beginning, then what comes next might be even more powerful. Fans are watching closer than ever, not for answers, but for moments, for signs, for the energy he brings into every appearance, every performance, every interaction. And one thing is becoming clear. Jungkook is not changing for the world. The world is adjusting to him. So, as this story continues to unfold, remember this. The truth is not always something that needs to be explained. Sometimes it is something you feel, something you witness, something that reveals itself over time. And if you can feel the shift, then you already know this is history in the making. Drop your thoughts right now, share this with every true fan, and subscribe to K Drama Bliss, because part 3 might just reveal what everyone has been waiting for, and you do not want to miss it.